He thought I'd wait for him forever, even as he chased another woman. But I've lived that nightmare once, and I won't do it again. I'm resetting the clock and walking away. Hi, welcome to Twilight's novel. My name is Chloe, and this is how I took my life back. Now, let's dive right into the story.
After being reborn, I took the initiative to cut off all contact with Lucas. He applied for the National University of Defense Technology in Hunan, so I changed my application to the People's Public Security University of China in Beijing. My goal was to be thousands of miles apart and never see each other again. When he came home to look for me during the Spring Festival, I drove out to travel overnight. I didn't answer his calls or reply to his messages. As soon as he was transferred to the city where I worked, I immediately applied for a job transfer. I didn't even let him see my face. In my past life, I loved him for 30 years and was neglected by him for 30 years. I got cancer in my 40s. At the last moment of my life, Lucas was busy decorating a new house to marry Samantha. The two sons I had worked so hard to raise were busy with their wedding. I lay alone in the hospital bed, waiting to die. I never wanted to live such a failed life again. After resubmitting my college entrance examination volunteers, I felt completely relaxed. I finally didn't have to be entangled with Lucas anymore. No one knew that I had been reborn. The deadline for filling in early admission volunteers was noon tomorrow. I was afraid the network would be too slow to log in tomorrow, so I went out overnight to change my volunteers. In my past life, I chased Lucas all my life and complained about him all my life. In the end, I only ended up dying with regret. In this life, I never wanted to have any contact with Lucas again. I wanted to be thousands of miles apart from him and never meet again. July 13th was my 18th birthday. On that day, I would tell him in public, "I won't get engaged to you, you're free." There were still 15 days left. As soon as I walked out of the internet cafe, I received a text message from Lucas.
I'm hanging out with my friends and might be back late. Cover for me. Thanks.
Lucas and I were childhood sweethearts. His father and my father were comrades in arms, and his mother and my mother were best friends and colleagues. I had lived in his house for 3 years and always called his mother Mom Lily. His mother treated me better than her own son. I had a crush on him, and he liked Samantha. I originally planned to hide this feeling deep in my heart and be his sister for a lifetime. But on the day after the college entrance examination, Lucas took me to a bar. When I went to the bathroom drunk, I was molested by 2 men. If Lucas hadn't come to look for me after I'd been gone for a long time, I didn't know what would have happened next. I thought being molested was a great insult and almost committed suicide. Mom Lily thought Lucas hadn't protected me well and forced him to promise to get engaged to me. Out of guilt, Lucas agreed to hold our engagement party as soon as we got our admission notices. Samantha couldn't accept that Lucas was getting engaged and made a big fuss. Lucas made all kinds of excuses to comfort Samantha. Lucas in my past life was really head over heels in love with Samantha. He could give up anything for her, including his principles, future, and conscience. The more I entangled myself, the more I lost. The more I lost, the more unwilling I became. I used all means to fight against them, wanting to make them suffer as much as I did. In the end, Mom Lily, who was as close as a mother to me, cut off all contact with me. The 2 sons I had worked so hard to raise also abandoned me. I heard them say with my own ears,
Mom might as well die early if she lives so tired. It would be good to fulfill Dad and Aunt Samantha. It's been 30 years and they've really had a hard time.
In this life, I wouldn't be the villain who broke up their relationship. Nor would I want those 2 ungrateful sons. I fulfilled them and let myself go. Changing my early admission volunteer was the first step for me to stay away from Lucas. It was also the first step for me to live for myself. In my past life, to be with Lucas, I gave up my dream of the People's Public Security University of China. I went to the National University of Defense Technology that he had been longing for with him. The full military management was much stricter than the police management. There were more training hours and programs, which made me physically and mentally exhausted and miserable. What made me even more uncomfortable was that Lucas and Samantha exchanged affectionate glances right in front of me. I was insanely jealous, but didn't dare to jump out and accuse them. Because I was the third party. Later, Samantha was suddenly expelled from school. Lucas thought I did it and never gave me a good look again. After graduating from college, Lucas was reluctant to fulfill his promise to marry me for a long time, until he received Samantha's wedding invitation. To break Lucas's heart, Samantha hurriedly married a rich second generation who was incompetent. Lucas was disheartened and married me like a walking corpse. After marriage, Lucas kept avoiding me. He didn't come home for several years. When I went to the military camp to see him, he would rather take over his comrade's duty than go back to the dormitory to accompany me. Mom Lily called me every day to ask if I was pregnant. She even sent me a set of sexy lingerie to please Lucas and let Mom Lily have a grandson soon. I shyly put it on and climbed onto the bed in the duty room. But Lucas pointed at my nose and shouted at me.
Slut.
I couldn't take it anymore, ran back overnight, and insisted on divorcing Lucas. Lucas came back to apologize to me. He coaxed me with gentle words and made up for the 3-year late wedding night. I got pregnant after just one night, with twins. I thought with the children, Lucas would take on the responsibility of a husband and father. Later I learned that the children could only trap me alone. The only person who could trap Lucas was Samantha. Even though he knew I had a difficult labor because of Samantha's provocation and almost died with the 2 babies, he still defended Samantha recklessly. To make me forgive Samantha, he knelt in front of me and stabbed himself twice to atone for her sins. At that time, I was still in the hospital, and the 2 children were still in the incubator. He didn't ask a single question, let alone go to see the children. As soon as I got home, I received a video from Samantha. In the video, she and Lucas were hugging tightly, dancing a provocative dance. Mom Lily, who had come back from evening self-study, saw me staring at the screen intently and leaned over to look. After seeing the content of the video, Mom Lily was furious.
That stupid boy. Leaving his fiancée to hang out with an outsider? I'm going to skin him alive. Samantha, that vixen, is shameless enough. Lucas is getting engaged, and she still clings to him to dance like this. I'll go reason with her parents tomorrow.
Samantha's father was the security guard of our school. Her mother was a cleaner. As the director of the school, Mom Lily never made things difficult for them. Until she found out that Lucas was secretly dating Samantha. Mom Lily believed in matching social status and looked down on Samantha's family background. She wanted Lucas to be with me. Because my father was a major, my uncle was the principal of a provincial key middle school, and my uncle was a department director. My connections could make Lucas's future brighter. To break them up, Mom Lily picked on Samantha's parents every time she saw them. She hoped Samantha would know her place and stay away from Lucas. However, Samantha and her parents clung to Lucas desperately and refused to let go. In my past life, even my mother-in-law and I couldn't drive Samantha away from Lucas. Until I was on my deathbed and Mom Lily was old and weak, Samantha successfully married Lucas. She also won over my 2 good sons. In this life, I would never stop them again. But I wouldn't interfere with Mom Lily. If Samantha wanted to be Lucas's wife, she had to get past Mom Lily first. Mom Lily's only way to punish Lucas was to beat him with a feather duster. 1 stroke left a blood stain, and it was extremely cruel. I thought Lucas would blame me for telling on him and ignore me after being beaten. Unexpectedly, he took the initiative to apologize to me.
I'm sorry for making you misunderstand. Samantha and I just danced. Nothing else happened. Don't worry. I know my identity and won't do anything out of line.
If I hadn't sharp-eyed seen the hickey on his neck, I would have believed his lies. He had always been a liar. He tricked me with all kinds of tricks when he was a child, made me cry, laugh, and make a fuss for him. But I never thought he was a bad brother because he spoiled me. After giving birth to the children, he lied to me that he had cut off contact with Samantha. I took the 2 sons to the military camp to celebrate his birthday. But I saw Samantha, her mother, and a room full of women's supplies in his dormitory. Later, when I was dying, I asked him to come to the hospital to see me. He said he was injured and couldn't walk easily. In fact, he was busy preparing for his wedding with Samantha. In my past life, he lied to me all my life. In this life, I would never believe anything he said again. As long as I didn't believe him, he could never deceive me. I waved my hand gently. You don't have to explain. I have no right to interfere with your freedom. Mom Lily happened to be next to me when Samantha sent the video. I didn't tell on you. She just had bad luck. Showing off too much leads to a downfall. If she hadn't deliberately provoked me to claim sovereignty in front of me, she wouldn't have been humiliated by Mom Lily. Lucas smiled bitterly.
How could you have no right to interfere with me? We're getting engaged as soon as we get our admission notices. Once engaged, I'm yours. I'll obey you, serve you, and spare no effort until my death.
No, I wouldn't receive the admission notice from the National University of Defense Technology. Nor would I get engaged to you. You don't have to be so wronged, or coax me against your will. 14 days left. Just bear with it, Lucas asked.
14 days for what?
Oh, he had even forgotten my birthday. I pushed Lucas out of my room. The days until you regain your freedom. I'll fulfill you. After filling in the volunteers, I had to prepare for the military physical examination. Under Mom Lily's strict supervision, Lucas didn't go to meet Samantha privately again, but he was absent-minded, holding his phone all day, either making phone calls or video chatting. Mom Lily beat him every time she caught him. She even handed the feather duster to me and told me to hit him a few times to vent my anger. I was too lazy to waste time and energy on this. I said lightly, "Forget it." Lucas thought I couldn't bear to hit him and was quite moved.
Don't worry. I'm just talking about ordinary friend topics with her. Nothing else. I know I have an engagement and won't mess around.
What was an engagement worth? Even a marriage certificate couldn't stop him from having an affair with Samantha. I replied vaguely. I was so tired every day just from running, long jumping, and doing sit-ups. I also had to do practice questions for the psychological test. I really didn't have the energy to care about who he was flirting with. Lucas worried that Samantha wouldn't pass the interview and asked me if I had any connections. If I wanted to, I naturally had connections. But why would I trouble my relatives for someone I hated? Number. Haven't you always pursued fairness and justice? Are you going to make an exception for Samantha? Lucas was dissatisfied with my answer, but said nothing. He just didn't take the initiative to talk to me for the rest of the time. I was used to his coldness and indifference, and didn't feel too sad. Mom Lily thought we were too stressed to talk, and didn't take it to heart. She just made delicious food for us in different ways every day. On the day we left for the military physical examination, Lucas picked a rose from the garden early in the morning. Mom Lily smiled.
This boy has finally come to his senses and knows to send you flowers.
I didn't tell Mom Lily that Samantha liked roses. This flower wasn't for me. As soon as we met, Samantha slapped me hard.
You're so vicious, you stole Lucas and aren't satisfied. You even got Aunt Lily fired my parents.
Samantha's parents were fired? It seemed Mom Lily was really angry this time. But what did this have to do with me? Samantha didn't dare to confront her future mother-in-law head-on, so she wanted to take it out on me. If a tiger doesn't show its power, she thinks I'm a sick cat? I raised my hand to hit her back, but Lucas stopped me.
Her parents lost their jobs, and life is hard for her family. Don't argue with her. If you're really angry, hit me instead. Hit me as many times as you want.
I laughed angrily. Just because her family's life was hard, she could slap me? Am I her punching bag? I asked Lucas. Who are you to her? Can you apologize for her and take the beating for her? Lucas then remembered our engagement. As my fiancé, he should defend me. But he still didn't let go.
If that incident hadn't happened, we wouldn't be engaged. My mom wouldn't have targeted her parents. Chloe, Samantha is already miserable. Can't you be considerate of her?
In my past life, when we studied at the National University of Defense Technology together, every time Samantha and I had a dispute, Lucas always used such words to make me back down. He clearly knew how much I tabooed that incident, but he kept mentioning it. To defend Samantha, he stabbed my heart again and again without hesitation, as if I wouldn't feel pain. He did this to me again now, but I wouldn't back down anymore. I kept a straight face and pried Lucas's hand off little by little, afraid I would make a scene and Samantha would suffer. Lucas begged me humbly to forgive her.
Chloe, she really didn't mean to hit you. She was just too angry.
I took a deep breath and interrupted him. Should I call the police now? Lucas knew that if I called the police, Samantha would have no chance to take the interview. After hesitating for a while, Lucas stepped aside. I slapped Samantha hard. At the last moment, Lucas still couldn't bear to let Samantha take this slap. He pushed Samantha away and offered his own face. I used all my strength in this slap, leaving a bright red palm print on Lucas's face. Samantha exclaimed,
Lucas, why did you do this? How dare she hit you? I'll get revenge for you.
Lucas stopped Samantha and asked me with red eyes.
Is that enough now?
Looking at their angry and wronged looks, it was as if I was the unreasonable one. Forget it. Only 12 days left until the end. Just bear with it. Lucas was wholeheartedly focused on Samantha, afraid that she would be affected by her parents' unemployment and fail the interview. He didn't even notice that I wasn't in the same exam room as them. During the physical fitness test, Lucas finally found out. He asked me if I had changed my volunteers. I didn't want to talk to him and nodded lazily. Lucas was a little angry.
Why?
I suddenly felt I couldn't stand full military management, so I didn't want to go. Lucas asked me which school I had filled in as my first choice. Telling him might make them happier and cause me less trouble. The People's Public Security University of China. Lucas muttered, subconsciously.
So far away?
The farther away, the less I would disturb your love. I didn't speak and walked past Lucas. As I went down the steps, a hand reached out from behind and pushed me. Although I grabbed the handrail in time, I sprained my ankle. It wasn't serious, but it would definitely affect my physical fitness test results. Samantha sneered.
You almost made me fail the interview, so I'll make you fail the physical fitness test too.
I glanced at the monitor above and said nothing. The test was about to start, and I didn't have time to argue with Samantha. The examiner learned that I had sprained my ankle and moved my name to the last. He also thoughtfully found someone to massage me. The first item was the 50-meter sprint, and I took 15 seconds. Failed. There were 4 items in total, and I had to pass all the remaining 3. Otherwise, I couldn't get into early admission. The examiner also looked at me with worried eyes. For the standing long jump, I only jumped 1.4 meters the first time. I barely passed on the third jump. I passed the remaining 800-meter long-distance run and sit-ups. As soon as I walked out of the exam room, I called the police. Samantha was arrested by the police. Lucas was extremely anxious. After failing to negotiate with the police, he reluctantly came to beg me.
Chloe, can you forgive Samantha? She didn't mean it.
I asked Lucas if he had watched the monitor. If he had watched it even once, he couldn't have said such words. Lucas knew in his heart that Samantha did it on purpose, but he still defended her.
She misunderstood you. I'll enlighten her slowly. I promise she'll never hurt you again.
Samantha always thought the bar incident was staged by me, just to separate her from Lucas. That was my unmentionable scar, but they kept mentioning it in front of me. Now, Lucas brought it up again. I flatly refused. Your promise is useless. You can't restrain her, and you can't bear to punish her. Lucas was extremely embarrassed for Samantha's audacity and for my refusal to give face. But he still couldn't let go of Samantha.
Can you really not?
I interrupted Lucas. If you do something wrong, you should be punished. She got what she deserved. I won't forgive her. I was too weak in my past life and always couldn't bear to be cruel. That's why Samantha stepped on me again and again. This time, I had to teach her a lesson. I turned around and went back to my room. Lucas grabbed my arm and begged in a low voice.
If I use all the kindness I've shown you in the past 10 years to beg for a favor, will you give me this face?
Lucas was really kind to me in the past 10 years. He protected me, gave in to me, took the blame for me, and fought for me like a real brother, especially after my mother passed away. If it weren't for him, I would have suffered from mental illness long ago. How could I have been admitted to the People's Public Security University of China? Precisely because he was so kind to me, I couldn't let go of him in my past life and always hoped he would turn back. I had no parents to rely on, no brothers or sisters to accompany me, only him. I didn't know then that once a man had a sweetheart, he would no longer care about his childhood sweetheart. I would never have any contact with him in this life, and this kindness should be repaid to him. Okay? Remember what you said? From now on, we owe each other nothing. Seeing my decisive tone, Lucas panicked a little. He wanted to say something more to me, but I shook him off and closed the door. Lucas couldn't knock the door open and sent me an apology text message.
Chloe, I'm sorry. I made you sad again.
See, he knew everything, but he still defended Samantha without hesitation. Apologies are meaningless. You're just following your heart. Anyway, I don't love you anymore. Only 6 days left, even if it hurts. Just bear with it. After Samantha was released, she not only didn't restrain herself, but also provoked and insulted me even more.
You're just a parasite living under someone else's roof. What are you putting on airs, calling the police? Did it work? Don't you know Lucas's father is an officer with strong connections? Can you stop shamelessly clinging to Lucas? Even if you cling to him shamelessly, how long can you hold on? When we go to the National University of Defense Technology, we won't come back once a year. Can you see him? No matter how much Aunt Lily protects you, she can't come to school to take Lucas back. Lucas doesn't like you at all, so how could he fall in love with you because of the responsibility you forced on him? He'll never get engaged to you, let alone marry you. Just give up.
I was busy choosing a dress for my coming-of-age ceremony, and originally didn't want to pay attention to Samantha, but I really couldn't stand her arrogant and stupid look. I decided to kindly remind her. Has Lucas never told you? My father is also a major, at the same level as Lucas's father. My uncle is the principal, and my uncle is a department director. If I wanted to ruin you, Lucas couldn't save you. Do you think Lucas used connections to get you out? No, he begged me to spare you and promised there would be no next time. I only agreed to let you go. If I didn't nod, let alone the National University of Defense Technology, you couldn't get into any school that requires political review. Understand? Samantha didn't believe I had such a strong background.
You're just bragging. Who has seen your father in 3 years of high school? When did the principal give you special treatment? Is a department director a big official? You're just a poor homeless wretch, living in Lucas's house to cheat food and shelter.
The words, homeless, hurt me. Although I had a good family background and many people could support me, I had no home. My father was a workaholic and was never home all year round. The last time I saw him was at my mother's funeral. It had been more than 3 years. My uncles and aunts were busy with work and had their own families to take care of. No one had time for me. Since my mother died in a car accident, I had been living with Lucas's family. For 3 years, Mom Lily had treated me like her own daughter. I had always regarded Mom Lily as my own mother, until I was reborn. Recalling all the accusations and coldness she had shown me after I fell out with Lucas in my past life, I could no longer be as close to her as before. Every day living in Lucas's house was torture. Only 3 days left. The day before my birthday, Aunt Mandy called me.
There's something I've thought about again and think I should tell you. There's new information about the incident where you were molested.
I avoided this incident very much in my past life and lost my temper as soon as I heard the word molested. I didn't let Aunt Mandy finish. Now I had let go and wanted to hear what made her stay up early in the morning. Tell me.
The 2 men who molested you were probably instigated by Lily Chunmei. They were already drunk and were guided to see you. According to their descriptions and the bar waiters, that person was probably Lily. None of the nearby monitors captured her face, so there's no proof she was at the bar that night. Nor is there evidence that she instigated them to molest you. That's why I haven't told you. Keep this to yourself. Don't tell anyone else.
I was stunned for a long time after hanging up the phone. It turned out that the person who really ruined my life wasn't the two molesters. It was Mom Lily, who was as close as a mother to me. She didn't like Samantha, took a fancy to my family background, and came up with such a vicious plan to force Lucas to get engaged to me. I was just a pawn. She used to break up Lucas and Samantha, a stepping stone for Lucas's future. No wonder she always encouraged me to fight for Lucas with Samantha. After I lost to Samantha again and again, she disliked me for being useless, couldn't hold Lucas's heart, and ignored me. Let me live a hard life with 2 sons alone. When I decided to fight with Lucas, she stabbed me in the back again. From beginning to end, she never really loved me, only calculation and exploitation. Mom Lily pushed open the door with a big box and smiled brightly.
Chloe, Mom Lily has prepared a surprise for you. Open it quickly and have a look.
I obediently took the box and opened it, pretending to be surprised. Wow, what a beautiful dress. Thank you, Mom Lily. Mom Lily held the dress against me and looked more and more satisfied.
Wear this dress on your engagement day, okay?
Okay, I'll wear this dress when I get engaged to Lucas. I would give this dress to Samantha. It would be interesting for her to be your daughter-in-law. You ruined my life, and I'll make you unhappy for the rest of your life. I linked arms with Mom Lily and smiled. Mom Lily, I also have a surprise for you tomorrow. My coming-of-age ceremony was held at the most luxurious hotel in the city. Not many guests were invited, only close relatives and friends from both my parents' sides, as well as Mom Lily and Lucas. Mom Lily smiled and chatted with my relatives. Lucas greeted my uncle and aunt nervously. The waiter came in and asked,
Miss Chloe, there's a young girl named Samantha outside who says you invited her. Should I let her in?
Hearing the name Samantha, Lucas trembled all over and gave me an angry look. But Mom Lily smiled with satisfaction and gave me an approving look. Aunt Mandy sneered and glanced at Lucas.
Is that the Samantha who pushed you and almost made you fail the physical fitness test?
I smiled and nodded, telling the waiter to let Samantha in. Lucas tried to stop him, but the waiter ignored him. Samantha was wearing the white dress she had worn when dancing with Lucas. She also put on makeup and braided her hair beautifully. She was beautiful and confident. Standing proudly at the door, when she saw me surrounded by everyone, the light in Samantha's eyes dimmed instantly. When Cinderella broke into the prince's banquet, there was surprise as well as inferiority. Lucas walked up to her immediately and used his body to block other people's probing gazes at Samantha. He was really thoughtful. He used to treat me like this.
Why are you here?
Chloe asked me to come. She said you would propose to her today. Lucas, don't propose to her, okay? I really like you. I know I'm not as good as Chloe, but I really like you so much.
She had just turned 18, and when she saw my birthday party, she understood the gap between me and her. If she were Lucas, she would choose me over her. She held Lucas's hand tightly, like a drowning person grabbing the only driftwood. Seeing that I hadn't taken the next step for a long time, impatience appeared on Mom Lily's face.
Chloe, why did you invite her here?
I suddenly realized and told the waiter to bring a big box from the upstairs room. I handed it to Samantha. This is the engagement dress. Mom Lily gave her future daughter-in-law. Try it on to see if it fits. Samantha held the box with both hands and looked at Mom Lily in surprise.
Auntie, are you going to let Lucas get engaged to me? And you gave me a dress?
Lucas looked at me in panic. He had finally convinced himself to give up Samantha and get engaged to me. He had suffered for so long. Unexpectedly, I suddenly didn't want to get engaged to him anymore. I really didn't want him anymore. I even arranged this scene for him to let his ugly future daughter-in-law meet his parents in public, forcing his mother to accept Samantha in front of everyone. He finally understood what I meant by fulfilling him. Panic accumulated more and more in Lucas's eyes. I asked him before he could speak, "Do you like this surprise? I prepared it for you for half a month. Lucas, you don't have to say sorry to me this time, nor thank you, because I have no good intentions." Mom Lily panicked and snatched the dress back from Samantha.
Who do you think you are? You're not worthy. This is the dress I gave Chloe. Chloe, didn't Mom Lily say yesterday that this dress is for you? To wear on your engagement day. How could you misunderstand Mom Lily's meaning?
It was her who misunderstood. I only accepted the dress but never said I would wear it. She gave me a surprise, so I naturally had to return one to her. I took the dress from Mom Lily and handed it to Samantha again. Lucas likes Samantha, so the one who should get engaged to him is naturally Samantha. Mom Lily, you shouldn't break up a loving couple. Love can overcome all difficulties. You should believe they will support each other and become better versions of themselves. I also gave Samantha the 4-leaf clover bracelet Lucas had bought me as a birthday gift. This is the bracelet Lucas bought. Try it on to see if it fits. Lucas and Mom Lily were completely dumbfounded.
Chloe.
Lucas reached out to pull me, but I dodged lightly. I pushed the dazed Samantha. Go change into the dress. If it doesn't fit, Mom Lily can have it altered. Samantha thanked me happily and left with the dress and the waiter. Mom Lily stopped Samantha.
Stop! That's not yours. You can't touch it.
Aunt Mandy pulled Mom Lily aside to enlighten her.
You can't force a melon to ripen. This girl looks good. She'll definitely succeed in the future.
Mom Lily blurted out.
She's just a security guard's daughter. What makes her worthy of my son? If you really like her, why don't you let her be your daughter-in-law?
Aunt Mandy spread her hands.
She doesn't like my son. Besides, my son already has a girlfriend, a female prosecutor. She's very capable.
Mom Lily became even angrier, twisted Lucas hard twice, and pushed him in front of me.
Lucas, tell Chloe clearly quickly. Say you like her, not Samantha. Hurry up.
How could Lucas say such a lie against his will in front of Samantha? He couldn't bear to let Samantha suffer the slightest grievance. At the same time, he knew how many things he had done to hurt me to defend Samantha. He even used our friendship to beg for favors. What right did he have to say he liked me now? I wouldn't believe him, even if he said it. Lucas looked at me with a complicated expression, full of grievance and regret. Just as he was about to speak, Samantha ran towards him quickly.
Lucas, this dress fits me perfectly. Look how pretty I am.
Lucas nodded, but his eyes were still on me. Samantha was dissatisfied with Lucas's perfunctory response and gently punched him in the chest twice.
You didn't even look at me. Don't you want to get engaged to me?
Lucas didn't answer. His eyes were still fixed on me. He hadn't looked at me so intently for a long time. As long as Samantha was around, his gaze would always drift to her unconsciously. Now that I was leaving, he was reluctant to let me go. Hearing the word, engagement, Mom Lily went crazy. If Aunt Mandy hadn't stopped her, she would have torn Samantha to pieces. Mom Lily, who had been tricked by me, mentioned the incident where I was molested in front of everyone.
It's all Lucas's fault. He took you to a bar but didn't protect you. You were scared, but you're okay now, right?
Everyone knew that was my taboo. In the first 3 days after the incident, I was like crazy. I didn't eat or sleep and made a fuss all day and night. No one could calm me down. Only Lucas could make me sleep peacefully. When Mom Lily proposed that Lucas get engaged to me, no one objected. Now that I had finally walked out of the predicament and decided not to get engaged to Lucas, they naturally wouldn't object. But Mom Lily's words might make me collapse again. Anger flashed in my uncle's and uncle's eyes.
Don't go to places like bars in the future. Girls can easily suffer losses there.
Uncle Jake stood up angrily, but Aunt Mandy held him back.
Lily was at the bar that day too, right? Why were you wearing a mask in the middle of summer? Did you have a cold or something you didn't want to reveal? Since you were there, why didn't you just take Chloe home?
Mom Lily knew the secret was out and didn't dare to say another word. To ease the atmosphere, Aunt Clara asked about the admission results.
Chloe, did you still apply for the National University of Defense Technology? Has the list come out? Aunt Clara has already prepared your suitcase and computer for school.
I put down my chopsticks. I applied to the People's Public Security University of China, and the list has just come out. I didn't let everyone down. I got admitted. My relatives said many words of praise and blessing. Samantha spoke at an inappropriate time.
You want to be a police officer? Can you stand the hardship with your young lady's attitude? Is the salary of a police officer enough to buy you a dress?
Lucas tried to cover Samantha's mouth, but Samantha kissed his palm playfully. This kind of intimate little gesture was sweet and exciting when only the two of them were together. In public, it looked particularly vulgar. Lucas blushed with shame and didn't even dare to lift his head. I retorted calmly. People like me are actually the most suitable for public security studies. I can truly remain unyielding in power and not corrupted by wealth. Serve the people wholeheartedly. If someone like you became a police officer, you would only harm others and yourself. You would be bribed with a little petty profit. You would yield to threats to your personal safety with a little manipulation. Uncle Jake applauded warmly for me.
Well said. Our public security system needs talents like you. On behalf of the Provincial Public Security Department, I welcome you to join.
Aunt Mandy followed suit.
Then I'll reluctantly represent the Procuratorate to welcome you.
Samantha asked recklessly why my uncle and aunt could represent the Provincial Public Security Department and the Procuratorate to welcome me. Lucas no longer wanted to care about Samantha. The mocking eyes of everyone made him want to dig a hole in the ground and hide. Lucas took Samantha away before the meal was finished. Her stupidity being exposed only in front of him was called innocence. Being exposed in front of everyone was called humiliation. Mom Lily also left halfway through the meal. I didn't go back to Lucas's house after dinner and stayed directly at the hotel. Aunt Clara sent a waiter to help me pack my things at Lucas's house. I stayed at the hotel for 2 days before going back to my own home. No one had lived in my home for 3 years. Except for the withered flowers on the balcony, everything was the same as when my mother was alive. After tidying up briefly, I put on the clothes my mother had worn before and lay on her favorite rocking chair, dreaming of being loved. My mother was a beautiful and delicate woman who loved dressing up and having fun. She spoiled me and gave me everything I wanted. She said I had no father around since I was a child and was a sensitive girl. She had to give me a lot of loves so that I could grow up healthily. But I hadn't grown up yet, and she was gone. After receiving the admission notice, I took a photo and sent it to my father. I wanted to go see him. I wondered if he was free now. I didn't wait for my father's reply, but I received an apology from Lucas.
Chloe, I'm sorry. When you and Samantha had a dispute, I always defended her and ignored you. I don't like her, let alone want to get engaged to her. I just pity her and want to help her.
I believed what he said was true. He liked Samantha, but not to the point of wanting to marry her. The reason he never forgot Samantha in my past life was half because he couldn't get her. The more you can't get something, the more you want it. Once you can get it easily, you think it's boring. After 100 thoughts, I replied to him with one sentence. I will eventually meet someone who will always defend me. Whether it's friendship or love, I just want someone who will always stand by my side. On the day I left for school, Lucas wanted to take me to the train station. I refused. It's not good to make your girlfriend misunderstand. Lucas frowned slightly.
She's not my girlfriend. I've made it clear to her.
I smiled faintly. She doesn't think so. After accepting Mom Lily's engagement dress, Samantha had been calling herself Lucas's fiancé, Maui. She also sent messages warning me not to get close to her man. After I blocked her, she borrowed phones to send me text messages. Lucas didn't speak, took my luggage, and left. I deliberately walked very slowly behind, keeping a long distance. I didn't look at him or talk to him. I ignored him the way he ignored me in my past life. Lucas felt my alienation and turned his head several times to say something. In the end, he closed his mouth. He knew that some things could never go back. Maybe it was to compensate, maybe out of politeness. Lucas bought me a big bag of food at the supermarket in the station. I picked a pack of original flavor melon seeds from it. Lucas was surprised.
Don't you like the others? Don't all girls like these things? Samantha, she?
He couldn't stop mentioning Samantha in 3 sentences. Yet he said he didn't like her. Was he lying to me, or to himself? Not all girls like those snacks. Samantha does. You remember all her preferences, but forgot that I like original flavor melon seeds. Lucas suddenly covered his face, bowed his head in guilt, and apologized choked up.
I'm sorry.
I smiled relieved and pulled my luggage towards the ticket gate. I didn't even say goodbye to Lucas, because I never wanted to see him again. I took a slow train sleeper to enjoy the scenery along the way. The girl sitting opposite me saw me holding a copy of the Civil Code and asked if I was a freshman and which school I was from. After asking, I found out her name was Vivian, and she was also from the People's Public Security University of China. It was really rare. The People's Public Security University of China only recruited 2 girls from our province this year. I met her as soon as I got on the train. She was outgoing, and we called each other sisters after just 3 minutes of chatting and added each other on WeChat. We studied the Civil Code together, talked about our ideals and future together, shared snacks together. The more we talked, the more we hit it off, as if we had met each other too late. I only checked my phone when I got off the train. Lucas had sent me a message.
I'm sorry. I've neglected you these 2 years. How can I make it up to you?
It wasn't 2 years. It was 30 years, and I didn't need to make up for it. I deleted all of Lucas's contact information and changed my phone number. During the winter vacation of my freshman year, I went home and visited my head teacher. I accidentally heard from him that Samantha had been expelled from school and was repeating her studies. Why did she drop out of school for no reason? The head teacher was a little embarrassed.
I heard she stole her roommate's things.
I guessed right. She couldn't resist temptation. She should have been expelled from school for this reason in my past life, right? Why did Lucas think I did it then? Did he habitually blame me for anything bad that happened to Samantha? In this life, I wasn't at the National University of Defense Technology and had cut off contact with him early. That's why he didn't suspect me? A year later, I went on a mission with my seniors and saw Samantha at a nightclub. She was hugging a shifty-eyed rich second generation intimately. I suddenly understood that Samantha in my past life might not have married the incompetent rich second generation to break Lucas's heart. She just married him for his money. She obviously bowed down for money, but she wanted to leave a reputation of sacrificing for love in Lucas's heart, making Lucas live in guilt all his life. Later, she left the rich second generation, not necessarily because of domestic violence, because the rich second generation's family went bankrupt at that time, and Lucas was no longer under his parents' control. He had money, power, and connections. His relationship with me was also bad. She saw hope of reuniting with Lucas, so she asked Lucas for protection under the pretext of being domestically abused. Lucas still had feelings for her and owed her a favor, so they hit it off immediately. Lucas stuck to the bottom line of a married man and never had a real relationship with Samantha. Samantha couldn't sit still and took the initiative to send me some ambiguous photos and videos, deliberately provoking me to make trouble with Lucas and target her. The more I embarrassed her, the more Lucas felt sorry for her and defended her. She relied on such despicable tricks to alienate Lucas and me step by step, finally succeeded in taking my place. Both Lucas and I in my past life were her targets of calculation. I actually lost to such a villain, and I lost so badly. I couldn't let this grudge go. The rich second generation was also our arrest target. As long as Samantha's urine test was positive, she was finished. Looking at her ecstatic look, I knew she wasn't clean. Under my deliberate inducement, Samantha was charged with 3 crimes: picking quarrels and provoking trouble, resisting arrest, and assaulting a police officer. In the end, Samantha was sentenced to 4 years. During her detention, Samantha begged Lucas for help many times. Lucas couldn't even get out of the school gate. How could he come to Beijing to save her? During the spring festival of my junior year, I met Lucas at a class reunion. He was wearing a military uniform, tall, handsome, and awe-inspiring. He stood out among the carefully dressed men. Everyone was very enthusiastic when they saw me. It wasn't because they missed me after not seeing each other for many years. It was just because we had all matured and understood the importance of interpersonal relationships. I thought the same as them. Handling cases also required strong connections. all the classmates present might become industry elites and business tycoons in the future. I wasn't afraid of anyone and wouldn't easily offend anyone. I was ready for Lucas to question me for Samantha. Unexpectedly, he opened his mouth and said,
This dress is so beautiful. It suits your temperament very well.
I said faintly, "Thank you." His praise or accusations could no longer affect my emotions.
Lucas, didn't you go to the National University of Defense Technology together? Why did she drop out of school? What did she do to get locked up in Beijing?
Lucas took a sip of wine and said faintly,
I'm not very familiar with her. I don't know about her.
One sentence of not being familiar and not knowing wiped out the person who had made his heart flutter. It turned out that he could also be so cold to Samantha. It was really funny. I tried for 30 years in my past life, but couldn't make Lucas forget Samantha. In this life, I did nothing, but they went their separate ways early. Was it fate or man-made? Lucas invited me to his house for a few days. I refused. My schedule is full. I really can't spare time. Lucas's eyes dimmed.
Is there really no possibility for us?
I reminded Lucas. We can only be strangers now. After all, you used our past friendship to beg for favors for Samantha, I said. From now on, we owe each other nothing. Lucas didn't talk to me again, just drank glass after glass of wine. He had a good capacity for alcohol, and none of the boys could match him. As the night got darker, the girls left one after another. I was also ready to leave. Lucas, who was drinking heavily, stood up.
I'll walk you home.
Refusal was useless to him, so I chose to be silent. Lucas walked me to the hotel door.
Why don't you contact my mom?
I didn't want to answer, but he insisted on asking.
My mom didn't do anything wrong to you, did she? Why did you even delete her WeChat?
Since he had to know, I wouldn't keep it a secret from Mom Lily, so that he wouldn't think I was an ungrateful person and let him give up early. The two men who molested you were instigated by her. She was at the bar that night, too. Lucas stepped back sharply and almost fell to the ground.
That's impossible. She wouldn't do that to you.
I sneered. Why don't you ask her yourself? Lucas couldn't believe it was his mother who staged the whole thing.
No. She wouldn't do that to you. She's always treated you like her own daughter.
I asked back. If she wasn't guilty, why hasn't she contacted me for 3 years? Samantha always said in front of you that I staged it, and you believed it, right? Why don't you believe it was your mother who staged it now? Lucas didn't dare to look at me. He was guilty. He really suspected me. He would rather believe Samantha's slander against me than my character. The last trace of longing for him in my heart was gone. Leave. I don't want to see you again. After Lucas left, I made an appointment with Vivian to travel overnight. Lucas called me from 3 different phones, and I blocked them all. After graduating from college, Vivian and I went to work at the provincial department. On our first day at work, we received a large stack of blind date materials. The materials we got were almost identical. When I went to Uncle Jake's house for dinner, I received another folder of blind date materials. It was sorted out by Aunt Mandy herself.
These are carefully selected according to your preferences. Any of them has a clean family background and a good foundation. You can pick one with your eyes closed.
I didn't want to pick. I gave it to Vivian. 3 months later, Vivian got married in a flash. She took a fancy to Uncle Jake's nephew and became my relative. 3 years later, Lucas showed up at my office.
I heard you still don't have a partner. Can you consider me?
I raised my eyebrows slightly and asked calmly, "Do you think it's possible?" Lucas smiled bitterly.
I knew you would say that. It doesn't matter. I'll wait until you're no longer angry. I've applied to my superior for a transfer order, and I'll be transferred here in 3 months. I want to buy a house here. Do you have any recommended real estate?
No, I'm very busy at work. Please leave. After Lucas left, I applied to my superior for an external transfer. When Lucas bought a house and came to the department to look for me, I was already gone. When I was 30 years old, Lucas came to me again.
Chloe, I know you're still not married. Can't you really consider me? I haven't had any female friends these years. I've been waiting for you.
I knew it. Every time I met an old high school classmate, they would mention Lucas to me. say he was young and promising, praise him for being resourceful. They would also regret that he had never met the right person. But I had never waited for Lucas. I'm not married because I don't have a partner. I'm just a lifelong celibate. I have a boyfriend. Lucas was stunned and then smiled.
Chloe, don't joke. I know you're a very traditional woman. If you really had someone you liked, how could you have been single all this time?
A handsome, tall, and strong man came out of the bedroom wearing a bathrobe. There were ambiguous red marks on his chest.
Honey, who is he? Your colleague or the new neighbor?
Lucas saw the marks at a glance and looked at me in disbelief. I shrugged, asked Lucas if he wanted to come in for a cup of tea. Lucas fled in panic. I closed the door and was about to go back to sleep. The man pushed me against the back of the door.
Is he your ex-boyfriend? Did he come to get back together with you?
I slapped Ethan on the forehead. You'd better behave yourself. Otherwise, don't blame me for not giving your sister face and kicking you out. To put it nicely, you're my boyfriend. To put it bluntly, you're just my friend with benefits. Don't interfere in my private affairs. In any way. Ethan changed from his previous overbearing style and circled around me like a little milk dog.
I know I was wrong, sister. I'll honestly do my duty as a boyfriend. Next time he comes, I'll definitely show the demeanor of the main wife. I won't let you lose face outside.
After sending Ethan away, I immediately called Vivian to scold her. Did you tell Lucas my address? What are you thinking? Do you want to watch him fight with your brother? If you want to scold your brother, just tell me directly. Why bother with outsiders? Vivian's sound of sipping coffee was very loud.
I just feel a little sorry for him when he looks for you everywhere but can't find any clues. What? Did he come at the wrong time and disturb your sleep?
I snorted coldly. Feeling sorry for a man will bring you bad luck for a lifetime. Vivian sighed.
My poor brother. I should have known you had a heart of stone. I shouldn't have introduced him to you in the first place.
As if I cared about him. You can introduce him to someone soft-hearted again now.
It's too late. My brother just called me and asked how to defeat the rival without a title.
She was trying to get her brother to propose again. As long as I didn't take the bait, no one could persuade me to get married. Actually, what difference did it make whether I got married or not? If we could stay together for a lifetime, what difference did it make whether we had that little book or not? If feelings changed, a marriage certificate couldn't save anything. Isn't it good to be free and follow your heart?